over the 12 years that I've been here entertaining you on television. Welcome to Hot Topics, Sharina Hudson. Getting out of my car with my money. Good morning, Journey. She'll be almost I think she'll be 3 next month, don't you know? Good morning, Kelvin. It's my truth.
So I'm not gonna take a lot of time because, you know, I'm getting emotional. And I told myself I wasn't gonna do this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever bring the energy, the charisma, the passion, the expertise, the talent, and whatever else you want to call it, like you seen Kelvin Hunter and my ex, Wendy Williams, and the team that was behind us. And I mean the whole team. That includes my current lady now. Yeah, I said it.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Not Sharina Hudson out here trying to paint Wendy Williams as the villain, while Wendy's out here fighting for her life in a hospital bed. The last 2 years have been a real uphill battle for Wendy, dealing with serious health issues, taking a step back from the public eye to heal. And what's Sharina doing? Playing the victim. Let's keep it a buck. We all miss our queen of gossip, our queen of everything. But the one person who's been missing Wendy the most is that parasitic leech, Sharina Hudson. Since those alimony checks stopped hitting, she and Kevin have been scrambling to keep up the lavish, spoiled lifestyle they've been living on Wendy's hard-earned dime. Yeah, you heard me right, on Wendy's dime. There are even whispers around town that their relationship is hanging by a thread and they're living separately. But here's the real tea. This was never the reality Sharina thought she'd be facing when she jumped into Kevin's arms more than 15 years ago. Back then, Wendy was still untouchable, the undisputed queen of TV, and Sharina was just a side piece trying to live that superstar life.
Stopped communicating in February of 2010 because he got upset that his mistress, now baby mama, Sharina Hudson, aka Nikki from Columbia, South Carolina, drop one of the clues bombs for the 803. He got upset because he thought I was trying to hook his mistress up with my homeboy Wax. Think about that. Big grown-ass married Negro from Brownsville, Brooklyn, supposed to be some thorough-ass hood dude, upset because he thinks I'm trying to hook his side chick up with my homeboy. Does that not make him a grade-A sucker? A clown of legendary proportions. Now, the reason I have never had no smoke for Wendy is, number one, I feel sorry for her because she was an abused woman on various levels, and two, I know Kelvin didn't go to Wendy and say, yeah, we don't rock with Charlemagne anymore because he tried to hook his side chick up with my homeboy. So you just chalk that up to the game.
Kevin isn't just a big red flag, he's a death sentence. And don't get it twisted, Miss Sharina Hudson is right there with him. The two of them have been living off Wendy's hard-earned money for over 15 years, pretending like they built this empire together. They even had the audacity, the unmitigated gall, to procreate and try to make it look like a family, all while expecting that the money train fueled by Wendy Williams' decades of work and success would keep chugging along forever. Guess what? Reality check. It's over, and they're about to feel it.
I'd come in, my eyes would be puffy from crying. I would do the show.
And was there a part of you that wanted to respond to it?
I knew that I would, but I had to get my ducks in a row. It's like I knew a lot of things for years.
Right.
You see,
you knew about this double life.
I knew a lot of things for years, but my son was at home. It wasn't fair to him. You know, I'm not going to grab his hand and flee the scenes and move zip codes. Now he has to move high schools and stuff like that. He's just making friends. So now he's away in college. And the person that I am now is very single because he's not living with me. He goes to school in Miami.
During their time together, Kevin didn't just pour into Sharina, he flooded her with luxury. He had a whole roster of women on the side, but Sharina, she was the only one he couldn't shake. He spoiled her with a $215,000 gold Ferrari, a few flashy diamond necklaces, and a $5,200 Chanel bag. And those are just the luxuries we know about. And let's not forget, he bought them a $795,000 home to live in on Wendy's dime, and even funded a few of her business ventures, like her failing clothing line, Vish, and that vegan restaurant that flopped harder than her entire hustle. All while Wendy was out here busting her ass building her empire.
Well, I had to in the beginning because I loved him. I was in love with Kevin. I loved Kevin. You saw the movie. I loved Kevin with desperation. Not because I wanted to be loved, but because I am my parents' daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I was raised to have my own money, but the bigger thing is that no matter what you do regarding a career, Wendy, and putting on lipstick and applying, you know, your skills in the kitchen, you want to have the white picket fence and you want to have children and you want to have, and this is how I was raised. It was really no option in my mind, and it still isn't. Being married is the holy grail, but there was a lot behind the scenes, and I'm very confident in my feelings towards Kevin initially, how I felt towards him in the middle, why it took me so long to divorce him, and that I want love.
And instead of Sharina even trying to make something work, or at least put aside some of the cash Kevin was recklessly throwing her way, she was out here living her best life, splurging on $5,000 bags, taking vacations like she was a real queen, and pretending like she built this empire herself. When she and Kevin first linked up, he promised her that he was never leaving Wendy. So Sharina thought she was set, living the high life with no worries. But even after Wendy kicked Kevin to the curb for good, Kevin kept spinning that same tired story, telling Sharina that everything was going to be fine. He was pulling in about $250,000 a month after the divorce, plus a cool $10 million payout over time for his role as Wendy's manager and the executive producer of The Wendy Williams Show. Sharina thought she'd struck gold, right? Wrong. What she actually got was a grown man who brought nothing to the table. No backup plan, no savings, no investments, no degrees, no retirement, and no real connections in the industry. Kevin wasn't a prize. He was a walking liability in a designer suit. And now Sharina's paying the price for thinking otherwise.
I met Kevin. Kevin was on the block. Kevin is not a high school graduate. Kevin was a block dude from Brownsville, Brooklyn. And you know what I mean when I say on the block.
Right.
And he'd never had a job with a pension plan. And he had never had a job where he can walk into the bank and, have not just, a check cashing place to cash a check for something or only cash because he's working the block, And I fell in love with him. And when I got this talk show, it seemed only natural that he would be my executive producer along with me. Now, my position was more powerful than his, because I was the host and a more powerful say in being an executive producer, because no matter what he would say to me about how he wanted things to go, when those double doors opened, I knew it was just me. And during commercial, he'd come out and sometimes he would talk to me to tears. And my staff would see it, but it's okay. I just busted off a story I wanted to bust off and I'll deal with him later. Baby or no baby, mistress or no mistress, I outgrew Kevin. I outgrew him. I outgrew him personally and I outgrew him professionally. The baby and the multiple women that he cheated with just made it even.
Everything about Kevin was tied to Wendy still being the provider, and neither he nor Sharina ever thought their free ride was going to end, especially not so soon. But when those alimony checks from Wendy dried up, Kevin and Sharina got a brutal reality check. In 2022, Kevin went to court demanding his alimony payments be reinstated. He cried that he couldn't maintain his lifestyle and basic needs without Wendy's cash flow. He was behind on car insurance, credit card payments, and even couldn't pay the $600 monthly homeowner association fee for the community he lived in, down so bad that he was facing foreclosure. But the judge basically told him, Wendy's got 99 problems, and you ain't one. Kevin's problems, not Sharina's. Once Kevin put the house on the market and got an offer, Sharina allegedly packed up everything, including their daughter, and bolted back to Mama's house. Now, here's the real kicker. Sharina hasn't even bothered putting Kevin on child support yet. But let's be honest, even if she wanted to, what exactly is Kevin going to give her? He's got no money, no assets, and no game left. She'd have a better chance of selling off those expensive Chanel bags and diamond necklaces Kevin showered her with than getting any real cash from him. And let's not forget that he's back in court again, trying to force Wendy to restart his alimony payments. Until he gets what he wants, Sharina's hands are tied. Oh, and the Ferrari he bought her? Taken away. That vegan restaurant she opened? A total flop. It closed permanently. She's wiped every trace of Kevin from her social media, and he's done the same. But here's the kicker. They still follow each other on Instagram. How cute! Things have gotten so bad for Kevin that he's still out here dragging Wendy, trying to get access to her bank records to see if she's really as broke as he says. But let's be real, Kevin isn't going to see a penny from Wendy. Why? Because according to recent reports, Wendy's dementia has worsened so badly that she's now permanently incapacitated and all of her finances are controlled by her legal guardian. What's even worse, Wendy has a perfectly capable adult son who could be looking out for her, but somehow he's not the one handling her finances, leaving her vulnerable to vultures like Kevin and Sharina.
Our marriage. I've known about her almost since the beginning. I've known that Kevin is a serial cheat. The first time I found out was while I was pregnant with our son on bed rest. During that time, I gave birth to him. He was in the delivery room. You'll see that play out in the movie. He's passing out cigars, and my wife and I, little Kevin, who's not so little anymore. He's 20 years old. I plotted to divorce Kevin, and I sacrificed a lot of myself to come out successful on the other side. And it all worked.
And as usual, people have very strong opinions about this entire ordeal. They will take all her money. Her son should be in charge to take care of his mom, her sister. Wanda will also step in. Also, Sharina Hudson. You raggedy bee, you. We wish you nothing but the worst and double F. Kevin Hunter's evil behind too. Neither of you will ever see heaven's gates. And another, Sharina wasn't dating Kevin. She was dating Wendy through Kevin. She didn't want the man. She wanted Wendy's money. But seriously, what do you think about all of this? Is Kevin moving funny for still being all about the alimony payments? Sound off in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And before you dip, make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button. And let's keep the conversation respectful and full of love. Voila. Until next time.